bird on a tree. I'm just sitting here. I got time. It's clear to see from up here. The world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me. We meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free.
Hello friends, welcome to another vlog. Welcome to a 24-hour readathon vlog, and I'm going to be doing the timer method that everybody seems to be using these days. I have yet to try this method, but I think it's going to work amazingly for doing a 24-hour readathon because you're not literally doing it in 24 hours. You're like seeing how much you can read within 24 hours, not all at once. You know what I mean? So I have already started this readathon and I've already finished a book. So current time check, we're at 22 hours, 47 minutes, and 21 seconds. So that is where we are starting. Obviously I started at 24 hours, but you know what I mean. That's where we're at currently, and within that time frame I finished A Study in Drowning, which I really enjoyed. I ended up giving this book, hi Holly, I ended up giving this book 4 stars. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was so beautifully written. Oh my gosh. Holly's in the cat tree. Hopefully she like holds still because I'm trying to film. And I absolutely love this book. I thought it was beautifully written. The characters are so good and I just loved this through and through. So 4 stars. This was a great read. I finished the 3rd story in Out There Screaming, so I need to read one more story today to be caught up. I'm just reading a story a day. I have them all tabbed out, which is like so satisfying. So I have every story tabbed out. My goal is to read a story a day, but the last couple of days have been busy, so I've been reading half a story at night and then finishing that story the next day and then reading another story if I can. So I think I'm on track if I were to read one more story today, and I'm liking it. So far the stories have been between 2, 3, and 4 stars, so kind of a mixed bag. I have heard from a couple people that the later stories are better than the first few stories, which is promising. So this is just kind of a book I'm picking up just for a little bit every day. My next full-time read is going to be Nemesis Games by James S.A. Corey. So this is book 5. This book is covered in cat hair. This is book 5 in the Expanse series. I am finally getting to this. The audiobook has finally come in from the library so I can listen to it and follow along. This is not on my October TBR, but I really want to read it. Like, I've been wanting to read this for so long, so we're just gonna do it. You know what? Who cares about following a TBR? Not me. I'm looking forward to starting this one, and it's gonna be a good time, hopefully. So those are the books that I'm currently going through. I'm so sorry this is so shaky. Holly has decided she needs to be on what I'm using as a tripod right now, and it's like not nice. Anyways, I also went to Barnes & Noble today, and I got quite a few Barnes & Noble gift cards for my birthday, and I had some cash, so your girl went crazy. And by crazy, I mean this crazy. I wasn't even counting how many books I had. I just went to the register and I'm like, I hope when this all balances out, I hope it's under $100 because I don't know if I can afford that right now. And I only spent like 30 bucks. So you know what? It was great. So the first book I got was actually one my mom really wanted me to get, and I'm honestly really glad I did. So I got Living Gluten-Free, which is like for dummies, and I'm so glad I got this because I've been gluten-free for almost a week now, and this is the best I've ever felt. I actually started losing weight and I'm feeling amazing, and I think this has been my issue. And the more I've been reading about this, the more I think I've just had a gluten intolerance this whole time, and I've been misdiagnosed with like IBS and a few other health issues that I have. I mean, thyroid, I think that's accurate. I think I really do have a thyroid issue, but I feel like I just need to go gluten-free. Like, I feel like that's been my issue this whole time because I feel amazing. So I did get this, and I'm really looking forward to just reading through this and learning more about being gluten-free and all that. I got 8 books. I'm so excited about it. So I got Her Majesty's Royal Coven and the sequel, The Shadow Cabinet, because oh my gosh, now Margot's on the cat tree. You guys! Oh my god! I know I should not have gotten the sequel because I haven't even read the first one, but everybody is loving this series and I want to hop on the bandwagon. I hate these covers, but I can't find the hardcovers that aren't super expensive, so I guess I'm just gonna have to read the paperbacks. It's gonna be the same story, I just hate these covers. So not really sure what this is about, to be honest. I think it has something to do with oracles and there's like magic and it sounds great, and honestly anything to do with like witches and magic, I'm here for it. So I got these two because I thought if I love this as much as I think I'm going to love it, I'm gonna want to have the sequel on hand. So I got these two. Then I picked me up a copy of Monstrilio, which I did read pretty recently and just loved it. I really wanted to have a copy of this book just to have on my shelf and maybe reread in the future. I loved this book. I think I gave it 4 or 5 stars, so I just wanted to own a copy. I just truly loved it. Next up, I got Mary by Nat Cassidy. I just love this cover and I've been eyeballing this book for the longest time, and every time I read the synopsis I'm like, this just sounds so good. So I just broke down and decided to get it. So we follow main character Mary, who is a middle-aged woman, and she's just trying to blend in the background and just like not really exist. And she gets fired from her job in New York. She moves back to her hometown and she believes to have this visions of terrifying mutilated specters overwhelm her, and she has like this auto writing strange thoughts and phrases, and she's starting to realize that these experiences are echoes of an infamous serial killer, and the killings start happening again. It just sounds so interesting, and I love this floppy paperback. I just couldn't resist, and the font is like absolutely huge, which I need. So I broke down and I finally bought it. I also decided to buy my book club pick for November, which is Rouge. I'm so excited to be reading this. I was going to get the ebook of this because I'm like, well, I'm not going to Barnes & Noble anytime soon. I might as well just get the ebook. Then my mom suggested to go to Barnes & Noble today. I'm like, heck yeah. So we did. And I told her, I'm like, I'm looking for Rouge if you see it anywhere. And like, it wasn't where I thought it would be. And I found Bunny and I'm like, well, that's the same author, but like, that's not quite it. And then we went to like the front of the store and that's where it was. So I did pick up a copy and I'm looking forward to reading this one. I've heard it's like a horror about the beauty industry, and I've also heard it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling, so I'm looking forward to it because Bunny is just a great weird time. This next book, I kid you not, I screamed a little in the store because why didn't anybody tell me that Carrie Maniscalco is writing her adult debut book that's a fantasy romance? Why didn't anybody tell me that this was happening? I of course had to buy it. I love Carrie Maniscalco. I have not even heard about this book. Is this just like an underground book? Is nobody talking about Carrie Maniscalco? Like, what is wrong with people? So this is literally all I read and I'm like, done, I need to buy it. So it says it's her adult debut with a standalone romantic fantasy set in her fan favorite Kingdom of the Wicked world about a dark prince battling an impossible curse and the artist who might be the only one who can set him free. Like, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I do need to finish the Kingdom of the Wicked series, so I might try to finish that series before I read this in case there's anything I need to know from that series going into this. I would doubt that, but this is also the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, which apparently has special content. I love this cover. Like, this is so pretty. It was on a table by itself at Barnes & Noble. I'm like, why have I not heard about this? Like, what the heck? And then I was going to find Rouge and I walked by this section. I saw these 2 books and I just literally added them to the stack. I had no intentions to buy these at any point in time recently, you know, coming up, but I saw them and I bought them. So we got The Hacienda and Vampires of El Norte by Isabel Cañas. I really want to read both of these. I've heard amazing things about both of them and I'm like, ooh, I saw this one first. I'm like, oh heck yeah. And then I saw this one. I'm like, sure. So I'm just a sucker for walking by books and I'm like, I'll take that one. Yep, I'll take that one too. So don't know too much about these. I think this one's like a haunted house story and I've heard this one is not, I think it's this book, maybe it's a different one, but I think it's like not literal vampires, but it's like metaphorical vampires. I'm not sure, maybe it is literal, but I'm just excited to read them. They sound great. So those are all the books I bought because I cannot be controlled. Especially when I have gift cards, it's just mayhem. So it's already been a pretty productive day. I finished a book. My mom and I took trash and we went to the post office, went to Barnes & Noble, we had breakfast at my parents' house, and now I'm home and I need to get started on chores. So my main chores I need to work on is laundry and finishing up the dishes, which I had started before we left. And then I also want to clean out the fridge because there's something funky in my fridge. I'm sorry, there's a squirrel on a tree and I'm looking at it. Anyways, so I really need to clean out the fridge because there's something nasty in there and I don't know what it is, but it's stinking up the fridge. Every time I open it, I was like, lovely. So that needs to happen. I also need to reorganize it because it's just gotten chaotic. I like to have things organized by like what they are, like dairy products here, eggs over here, like hummus over here, yogurt in this section. So it's not like that right now and it's driving me crazy because I can't find anything. So that's the thing I want to do as well, and maybe even wipe down all the counters, like all the little shelves in the fridge as well. So I think that's going to be the thing I do first because I'm kind of dreading that, because while I love organizing, I hate getting started on organizing. But once I'm doing it, I love it. But like getting started is the worst part. So I think I'm going to do that first and start a new audiobook. So I do need to pick an audiobook. I have a couple that I recently borrowed from the library because like a bunch of holds came in and I'm like, sure. And now I'm like, I have so many books that I need to listen to before they go back. So the one that needs to go back the soonest is Song of Silver Flame Like Night, which is an Illumicrate book. I'm really trying hard to prioritize my Illumicrate books so I can get them read. Maybe not in the same month, but like really soon after, so I can keep up with the books that are being sent. I made a whole spreadsheet. I'm gonna start tracking the books that I've read, and I also want to track my ratings because I want to see if Illumicrate books are even good, like rating wise for me, because if I'm giving these books like 2 and 3 stars, is the subscription even worth it? So I think that's going to be an interesting little experiment, and I might try to make a video about that, if like a sit down video or something, just going through my spreadsheet and the ratings and if I think Illumicrate is worth it or not, because there has been a lot of discussions in the book community about that, and I think that'd be interesting. But anywho, so I think I might start Song of Silver Flame Like Night because, like I said, it's got to go back soon. And it's a 15-hour audiobook, so that'll keep me listening for a few days at least. I listen to a lot of audio. So I think that's what I'm gonna do next, and then later I will read one more story in Out There Screaming and start Nemesis Games. So that's my immediate plans. I'm on my own for dinner tonight because the parents are going to a party and I'm like, no thank you, human interaction, not here for it. So I think I'm going to make myself some pasta and meatballs for dinner with a salad. It just sounds great. Watch some Bachelor in Paradise. It's gonna be a good time. Or maybe even the latest episode of Great British Bake Off, because I'm an episode behind, which is unlike me. I usually watch a day of, but I was a little busy yesterday. So that's what we are working on today. So I will come chat with you all when I have more updates. But yeah, welcome to a 24-hour readathon vlog. I'm so excited to be trying one of these. I hope it's successful. Hello, this lighting looks kind of atrocious, but we're just gonna roll with it. So as you saw, I cleaned out my fridge, which was disgusting. I don't think I've actually cleaned out the fridge since I moved in like 2 years ago. So that's embarrassing to admit on the internet, but I just felt like I just flew into homeowning. So I just kind of put my stuff in with their stuff and didn't bother to really clean the fridge. And it was just really nasty. So I also had some stuff in there that I had just kind of forgotten was in there. So that very much needed to be done, and it looks amazing now. But while I did that, I did start my new audiobook, which is Song of Silver Flame Like Night. This is an Illumicrate book, and I am obsessed with the spray that is on this book. It's so gorgeous. So this is an epic new fantasy duology inspired by Chinese mythology, and we're following our main character who is a song girl. She works at this place where she sings, and it's doesn't sound like the greatest place to be, but I mean, it could be worse. And then we also follow our main character, who I don't remember. He's a practitioner, which is one of the fabled magicians of the Last Kingdom, which is rumored to be drawn from the demons they communed with, and they have to work together to like save the world. So very like stereotypical YA type of plot, but I'm really liking the characters, and I'm really liking the narration of this is really well done. So I'm about 85 pages in, which I didn't realize I listened to that much, but also the font on this book is like massive. I could read this from like across the room nearly. So I will be listening to this a little bit more when I go cat sit for the last time in a little bit. But it's time to go work out. So gonna go do that. Gonna go get a workout in, and I found this channel, and she mainly does like weight training workouts, and I love them because like you do like 20 to 30 or even 40 seconds of the weight training, and then you take like a 10-15 second break, which is so nice. A lot of other workout videos that I have followed and used, there's like no breaks. There's like one like 50-second break in the middle, and I've already taken like 3 or 4 little mini breaks before that because I just can't keep up. So I really appreciate that she actually like has the breaks, and I just love weight training. And unlike all the gym girlies I see online, I love working on my arms of all things. I know the girlies like to do leg day. Leg day's fine. I prefer arms personally, but anyways, let's just go get that over with. Hello, it is Sunday evening. I've just gotten all of my Sunday evening chores done, and now it's time to go take a shower and get in bed and read some more, but I thought I should come on here and say hello. I feel like I haven't chatted with you all much this weekend, but it's been a very productive weekend. I feel like I got a lot of little things done that have been plaguing me for the longest time. So that was really nice. And we also solved the electrical issue that I was having downstairs. I don't know if I ever talked about it, but I was having this electrical issue downstairs in the utility and workout room. The one side of the house, like all the plugins just stopped working, and I thought I tripped a breaker. So I'm like, well, let me just go check on that. And it wasn't flipped, so I'm like, or tripped. If I say flipped, I'm sorry, you know what I mean. I keep saying flipped, but I mean tripped, but whatever, you get it. So I didn't know what I did. And so my dad had to come up, and we looked and looked and looked, and he thought maybe there was wires that got crossed wrong or something in the wall. And so we were like, well, let's just turn off that breaker just in case so it doesn't spark or anything, because we didn't know. And then my uncle, who we told about this problem, he actually ordered this really cool tool that you plug into the wall, and then it has a separate piece that is like wireless, and you like slide it along the wall and it finds wires and stuff, which is so cool. So he's been meaning to get one, and this was like an excuse to do so, I guess. So he bought this tool, it came in, so him and my dad came up and took a look, and we figured out that it was actually a GFI thing. Honestly, I'm just repeating what they said. I don't really know what I'm saying, but basically it was a really easy thing, and I tripped this GFI plug. I still don't really know what that means, but it was a super easy fix. There was no weird wires crossed, and that's that. So I'm really happy that it wasn't a huge major deal, so that is awesome. So I was able to actually use my treadmill. I haven't been able to use my treadmill because, you know, it has to be plugged into the wall, and I've been nervous to use it. Plus I've had my washer and my security system plugged into a different outlet. Like I'd had extension cords everywhere because none of the outlets are working, but they're all working now. So now I know what to do if the plugins stop working again. I know what to look at, and it might be a matter of replacing that GFI if it keeps doing it, but it also could be don't use the treadmill and the washing machine at the same time. But that was great. Glad we solved that. And now let's do a reading update. So I did read the next story in Out There Screaming, so I'm doing pretty good on that. I am enjoying quite a few of these stories, and I'm marking the authors that I want to do some research on and find out if they have any more full-length books, because if I love their story, I want to read their full-length book if they have any, which I think is so fun. Like, I love the idea of using an anthology as a way to like sample authors without buying a full-fledged book. You get to buy like a sampler basically of all these different authors, which I just love. So I'm gonna try to maybe read more anthologies in genres that I'm interested in, like fantasy and horror, and see if I can find some authors that I want to experiment with. But anyways, for my audiobook, I am listening to Song of Silver Flame Like Night. I hope I said that right. Song of Silver Flame Like Night. Yeah, okay. This title is so long and I keep getting the words confused in my head. So this is going fine. It's reading as YA, which it is, and as you all know, I'm not really reading YA fantasy anymore, so it's just very meh to me. It's nothing like fantastically amazing, but it's not bad either. It's really one of those books that I'm gonna have a really hard time talking about because I don't hate it and I don't love it. It's just, it's kind of like happening, really. But it's good enough, but I'm just like not the most interested in it. But I will keep reading it. I do want to get further in, but if I continue to feel like this by maybe the 40 or 50% mark, I may consider DNFing it, which I would hate to do, but if it's really not holding my attention, I just don't know if it's worth the time to read it, especially for how long it is. So I'll reevaluate later as I get further into it, but it's going okay at the moment. And then I have also started Nemesis Games, which is the 5th book in the Expanse series. I'm about 50 pages in at the moment and having a great time. It's interesting that our characters are actually being separated in this book, which is a first. Our crew has stayed together throughout the entirety of all 4 books. So it's interesting that now some of the characters are going their own way with the intention of coming back, but I have a feeling dynamics are going to change and maybe some bad things are going to happen to these characters. And there's a few of these characters I just love so much and I don't want to see anything bad happen to them, but I feel like that might be on the horizon for them, which I don't know if I'm ready for. So I'm curious where this one's gonna go. It's really pulling my attention. I'm really enjoying it. So my plan is to read more of this tonight. And as for my timer, my phone is over there. I don't feel like grabbing it, but last time I looked at it, I'm about 18 hours and something left of this readathon. I'm hoping I can finish this vlog this week, but I did go ahead and film my November TBR. So worst case, if I'm still doing this vlog by this weekend, then I can at least have a video go up in place of this vlog for the following week, because I was thinking, well, I could just say it was a failed 24-hour readathon, but it's like I really actually want to see how much I can read in a solid 24 hours using this timer method. So I don't want to give up on it. Like, I don't want to call it a failed video if I just give up on it. So I'm gonna really try and read as much as I can, see how much I can get through this week, and then worst case, I will just push this vlog into next week, and it'll just be an extra long vlog, and I'll just have that TBR video kind of in place of a video, because my goal is to have a video come out a week, which has so far been pretty doable if I can take the time to film on the weekends some sit-down videos, such as wrap-ups and TBRs and things, like on time, so I have time to edit it and all that. So at least it's filmed and now I can edit it, but my other weekly vlog is ready to go, so I will upload that tomorrow at work and we'll go from there. So I'm gonna go get ready for bed, take a shower, crawl in bed under a million blankets, because I don't know about y'all, but when it gets cold outside, which it has definitely dropped in temperature and it's been snowing all day, I just get freezing cold. Like, I have been cold all weekend and I am so ready to go get under the blankets and warm up, and it's gonna be great. So that is the plan. Anywho, I'm gonna go and I will chat with you all when there's more to update on. Hello friends, it has been quite a while since I've updated this vlog and I have a lot of reading updates. So for a time check, we are officially at 8 hours and 55 minutes left of this readathon. So I've done really good. I've honestly read a lot since we've last updated, like I said. So I definitely think I could maybe finish this vlog this weekend, potentially. We'll just see how it goes. I started a new book yesterday while at work because I was working on a really mundane task and really needed an audiobook, and I had recently checked this out from the library and I started it yesterday and finished it today. Like, I seriously just listened to it nearly all day because I'm at the point, like, I have like about a week or 2 weeks in every month where it's kind of slow in my job, so I just do kind of data entry stuff that's pretty boring, so I usually just pop in an audiobook and then the rest of the time I'm like, you know, doing grant things. But the book that I started and finished is Portrait of a Thief by Grace D. Lee. This is an Illumicrate book and I didn't love this one, which I'm really disappointed by, and a lot of other people who received this book as well did not enjoy it either. So this is supposed to be a heist story in which we follow a group of college students who are trying to reclaim history. They're trying to steal back art to give back to China, and just the way they go about stealing this art is the most unbelievable way possible, and I just had a really hard time believing that this happened the way it did. And obviously heist stories are kind of unbelievable in and of themselves, but this one especially, I just could not believe that these characters got away with it. So for mild spoilers, if you don't want to know, you can skip ahead, but I'm not going to say any character names or anything. But there was at one point when one of the characters was talking to a classmate, and in class they were talking about these heists that were going on and this art was being stolen, and the character we were following we knew was part of the heist and stole the art. And she tells her classmate, yeah, there's gonna be another heist, and her classmate's like, how do you know? She's like, oh, because I stole the art. Like, we did that. It's like, why would you say that? And then there's another point where like they blatantly admitted to somebody that they were stealing art. And I'm like, why would you do that? Like, seriously. Oh my gosh, it just made me so irritated, and they were just going about stealing art in the most ridiculous way possible. It just felt so unbelievable that they were getting away with it. Like, oh my gosh, this book just irritated me in that way. But I do feel like this is definitely more of an exploration of diaspora and being Chinese in America and exploring that identity and how that feels and things, which is great. Really enjoyed reading that. But the heist plot of the book, I just very much did not like and just thought it was really poorly done. So I ended up giving this one 2 stars. I didn't really feel for the characters, and I just found the way they're selling this art to be very irrational to me. But it was fine, but wasn't my absolute favorite thing. And then I also started a new work audiobook, which is God Killer, and I'm loving this so far. The audiobook is so beautifully narrated. So we're following several different perspectives. It seems like there's a different perspective almost every chapter, which is pretty interesting. But we follow our main character, who is a god killer, and in the prologue it is just explosive with action. I was just immediately hooked and needed to see what was going to happen next. So we follow our main character. She's now a god killer, and anybody who is at all associated with named gods is essentially killed or jailed or whatever. So you definitely don't want to be considered one of those people, and she is someone who kills named gods, and we know why. Like, you find out really early on in the prologue why she decides to go on this quest, and it's interesting so far. I don't really have much to say because I'm not too far into it, but I might be able to finish this by like early next week, maybe not in this vlog, but I have started it, so I thought I would mention it. And then I'm still reading Out There Screaming. I just read my story every day, so I'm currently on page 145, and there's been some stories that I have absolutely loved. So to kind of give you some ratings that I've given some of the more recent stories, the last story I gave 5 stars and I put a little like star next to it. I don't know if you can see that, but I put a little little like star next to my rating because that's an author I want to go back to and see if I can find a full-length book by that author. So that's one. And then the story before that was a 3-star. I think that's my lowest rating I've had so far for this collection. The next story was 4 stars, but I also starred that author. I do want to go back because I really enjoyed that story. And the story before that was another author I really want to read more from and was 4 stars. So far this is the best anthology collection I have ever read. I have really enjoyed all the stories for the most part, and it's just so well curated, and I'm just loving all the stories. So this is going great. And then I'm in the middle of like 4 books, you guys. This is just crazy. But I'm also reading Nemesis Games. I am currently 115 pages into this, and things are getting very interesting. I just have a gut feeling that James S. A. Corey is just gonna pull the rug out from under me and destroy me in this book. Like, I feel like emotional damage is on the horizon and I don't know if I'm ready for it. So that's gonna be fun. So I'm looking forward to finding out what's gonna happen because I just have this feeling every time I pick up this book. So like every night when I start to read this, I just get this feeling of dread that something terrible is gonna happen to these characters, and I just have a hard time putting this down when I start reading it. And the dread is like a good thing. Like, I'm not saying I'm dreading reading this book. I'm dreading what's gonna happen to these characters because I care about them so much. So I'm quite enjoying this, and I look forward to seeing what's gonna happen. And last, but certainly not least, we have Song of Silver, Flame Like Night, which I am also reading. My bookmark is very much wrong. I think I'm like, let's just say 40-ish% into this. And it's going okay. I don't think the audiobook was the greatest choice for me for this book because I'm finding it a tad hard to keep up with. I really need to stop listening to audiobooks by themselves that are fantasy because I just can't keep up very well. Unless it's a series that I have listened to before or am very familiar with, like Shadowhunters, I could easily listen to those by themselves. But something like not really high fantasy, but it's like in a different world and this is magic and there's a lot going on in the plot, I really don't think I should listen to the audiobook. But you know, I might as well just get it over with because I don't know if I would be enjoying this reading it physically either. I'm not loving this. It's very YA, very much like, ooh, I have powers, let's figure out what they are. And I just get really sick and tired of reading like the same exact trope that fantasy, especially YA fantasy, seems to just keep writing about. Like, I feel like adult fantasy at least doesn't stick in that mold of, oh, let's discover a new power I have, and oh, let's do this. Like, there's certainly adult fantasy that does that. Like, a lot of it does that too. But I feel like I can find more niche adult fantasy that doesn't do that so much and is a little bit more unique and original, and this ain't it. But I'm gonna finish it because I might as well, but I'm just not loving it, unfortunately. So that is my huge reading update. And as for life update, I'm still feeling really good. I think this gluten-free thing is truly helping me a ton. I'm just feeling better and better though. Like, I actually have the energy to finish a 30-minute workout. Like, I seriously could only work out for like 10-15 minutes before I was just exhausted and couldn't do it. And since I've been gluten-free for like a week, I have done like 3 or 4 30-minute or more length workouts, which has been unheard of for me for the past couple of months. So I'm feeling great, which is really the most important thing. Like, I think the losing weight will come with time, but I feel like my body's still kind of in fight or flight mode, it kind of feels like, because every time I eat, my stomach just gets like a little, whoa, okay, what are you doing now? You know, what are you giving me? But I feel like the inflammation and stuff I've been dealing with has really gone down. I've also noticed, like, I've been really itchy, like every morning, like my whole neck will just be red because I've been scratching it and I'm so itchy. Since I've been gluten-free, I haven't been itchy. So you know what? Everything's like tying back to that. As soon as I stopped eating gluten, I just feel like 20 pounds of weight has lifted from my shoulders. And I very much apologize for keep mentioning this in videos, but I still am just shocked. I just can't get over that one simple thing was causing me so much like heartache and issues and was just depleting my body of energy and life, it felt like. So I do apologize for mentioning it like every 3 seconds, but I truly am just so grateful to be feeling better, and that I feel like that needs to be celebrated. So anywho's, I'm gonna go take a shower and get ready for bed and curl up and read more of this great book, and that's my evening. So that's what I've been up to. That's what I've been reading. I feel like I had another update for you all. I did get my book club book for November in the mail today, and it is so long and so dense, and I actually found a free audiobook on YouTube of that book, which I'm so grateful for because I really didn't want to buy the audiobook. So they have the entire full-length audiobook on YouTube. I really want to listen to the audiobook because what I've read of reviews for this book, it's written with a lot of Irish slang and Irish words as well, and I just feel like listening to that would be better than my brain just saying blah blah blah, you know. I feel like I should hear what it's supposed to sound like instead of just my brain just saying nothing. So anyways, we'll talk more about that book in November when I read it, and hopefully I can get through it. But anywho's, let's go take a shower and read and get all cozy, and that's the plan. So if I could at least maybe finish Song of Silver, Flame Like Night, and maybe get like halfway through this before the 8 hours and 55 minutes is over, I think that would be amazing. But we'll just see. I have no clue. Hello, this is just a super fast little kitchen update with the dishwasher in the background to open this real quick because I really want to put this book away, but I thought I should open it on camera, maybe, although I just ripped that. So let's try the other side. This looks to be successful. So the book I got is Iris Kelly Doesn't Date, which is the 3rd book in the Delilah Green series. I have yet to read book 2, and I own it, but I really want to own this whole series because I was obsessed, and still am obsessed, with Delilah Green. So I'm looking forward to reading this one. I just love her covers so much. So I'm looking forward to reading this one. But that's really the only update I have time for because I'm running quite behind tonight on the things that I wanted to do. I just made a batch of cookies and cream ice cream because we're gonna go hang out with my niece and nephew this weekend, and they love ice cream. And so does their mom. Like, my sister-in-law loves ice cream. So I really want to make strawberry cheesecake ice cream, and my mom's like, oh, maybe you should make another flavor because I don't know if the kids would like that. I'm like, oh, true. So I made cookies and cream. It's very good. And then tomorrow, actually not tomorrow, Saturday, I will make strawberry cream cheese cheesecake. I keep saying cream cheese. I keep meaning to say cheesecake ice cream because that's gonna take a while because I have to make this puree and make this graham cracker swirl and make the ice cream. So that one's a lot more labor intensive than the cookies and cream, but that one's made, and then the bowl will have time to freeze so I can make more. And yeah, so I need to go work out right now before it gets too late, and I will come chat with you all probably tomorrow. I think I have like 3 hours left on my timer, so I will be finishing this readathon this weekend, hopefully, so I will update you all then when I have the time. Well, howdy, it's been forever. That was a terrible accent. I don't know where that came from. I also look very pink right now, which is unfortunate, but it's Friday night. It is 9:45 on Friday and I need to end this vlog. It's taken me a lot longer to complete this challenge than I thought, but considering your girl works 40 hours a week, I think I actually did pretty good on this challenge. So I have, let me pull up my timer to show y'all. I have 47 minutes and 39 seconds left of this readathon, and I will be complete with a 24-hour timer readathon. This is honestly a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. I don't know why I just thought, oh, 24 hours, that'll go by in a breeze. Honestly, no. And the hardest part as well has been remembering to turn on the timer when I do start reading. I'm just not used to tracking my reading in that way, so remembering to do that has been a struggle. So I feel like this isn't the most accurate representation of what I can read in a full 24 hours, because I would forget to turn it on and then I'd sometimes forget to turn it off. So I wouldn't say it's like the most accurate thing, at least for me. I don't know about other booktubers. I haven't seen anybody talk about like their experience doing the timer method, like if it's successful or if they think it's a good method. I think it's really fun. I just don't know if it's the most accurate way to track my reading. Like, I wish I had like a physical thing that I could just like click on or off instead of my phone, because I have a tendency these days to just put my phone as far away from me as possible to limit distractions so I can really just read or focus on whatever I'm doing. And it's become such a habit that I don't gravitate towards my phone in that way really anymore. So to have it with me all the time again and using it for this timer method has been a bit weird for me. So I don't know if I should have used my iPad or something else to track it other than my phone, but I don't know if that would have been any better. But anyways, I'm kind of getting into my thoughts on this readathon when really I should be finishing this vlog up. So to give you all updates, I am about 60% through God Killer and absolutely obsessed with it. This is feeling like a favorite of the year. I'm loving this book so much. The characters are so great, and I love how he balanced between a couple different perspectives in this book, and it really makes you sympathize with a certain character who is kind of morally gray, and like I feel for them. I want the best for them, but at the same time it's like they're kind of terrible, but you feel for them, and I just really love that. And I love that conflict when I'm reading a book. Like, I love this character, but also like you're kind of terrible. So absolutely loving this. I actually went ahead and pre-ordered book 2, which does have a cover out now. It is absolutely stunning. It's called Sunbringer and I'm obsessed with it, so I did pre-order it. I know Limocrate will probably do a special edition to match this one for it, but I know it's gonna be spendy and I'm really trying to cut back on spending. Also reading Nemesis Games still. I'm 189 pages into this. I'm really hoping to read a good chunk of it this weekend. I really haven't had much time to read it because Out There Screaming has been taking me longer to read than I anticipated. Some of the stories in that short story collection are really long, so it's taking me quite a bit of time to read them, but I'm really enjoying this. I think this is maybe my favorite book in the series so far. I just feel like there's so much tension in this book, and having our characters all separated in this book is really increasing the tension, and we're also discovering some things about our characters' past that are truly shocking. Like, I knew these characters must have had some sort of past before they joined Jim Holden on his ship. Like, I knew they must have had some sort of past, and it's starting to come to light in this book, and it's just like, wow. So I'm really enjoying this. I really want to read more of it because I'm quite enjoying it. And then I'm sadly not loving my audiobook of Song of Silver Flame Like Night. I am really struggling to pick this up. It's just not what I want right now, and it's also just like not the most amazing thing I've read. It just feels very similar to other things I've read in terms of plot and I'm just not loving it. Like, I have like 8 hours, so on 2 times speed, like 4 hours left of this audiobook, which I plan on finishing tomorrow because I have a ton of things that I want to get done that I can listen to an audiobook with. But it's just like, I don't want to listen to this. So I'm really conflicted. Y'all know I am team DNF. If you were not enjoying a book, DNF it. It doesn't matter where you're at. If you read page 1 and you're not feeling it, DNF it. No, you're done. Like, you don't need to push through. So why do I feel the need to push through this? I just feel like I'm obligated because it's an Illumicrate book and this costs so much money to purchase, like with the subscription and things, but I'm not enjoying it. So I might DNF, but like, I'm over halfway through. Really, should I? I will let tomorrow me decide, but I'm kind of leaning towards yes, which is very unfortunate. And then finally, I am still reading After Screaming. I was hoping to finish this book in October, but I don't think that's gonna happen because I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more stories, and there's only a few days left of October. So definitely don't think this book is gonna be finished in October, which is fine, but I am loving this collection. I don't know if I've mentioned this, but I definitely think this is my favorite anthology collection I have ever read, which is not saying much because I haven't read that many. But I feel like I really struggle with anthologies because there's like such a few amount of stories that I love, but there's a lot that are like mediocre or not that great. This is honestly one of the few collections that I have read that the majority are really good. My plan is to read this for like 45-ish minutes or whatever time I have left, and this vlog will be done, which will be exciting. Also a little sad, but I'm gonna read that for a little bit and then come on here, give you all a final update and things. And I do want to try this readathon method again, and I kind of plan on doing that in December. I will be taking 10 days off from work in December, which I'm so excited about. And the best part is I only take 3 days of leave for 10 days off because of how the holiday falls, which is just incredible. So I plan on doing a staycation and just doing nothing but reading, which just sounds amazing. Like reading, watching movies, catching up on TV shows that I just have not had time to watch, and just truly relaxing and doing whatever sounds good. I'm so excited, you guys. Like, I cannot wait to have that break. Like, it's gonna be amazing. I'm calling it winter break, which, you know, obviously working full time, you don't get winter break, but I'm kind of making my own, which is totally worth it. And my supervisor, I have already like given her pre-warning, like, hey, I kind of want to take this time off. She's like, that'd be great. Really, December is a slow time for us. January is when it gets crazy. I'm like, cool, I will be here for January, but I'm taking 2 weeks off in December. I also have very exciting news. My new camera shipped and I'm so excited. I was getting really nervous. So I ordered this camera like 2 or 3 days after my birthday, which was quite a while ago now. And it just says order received, and it just wasn't moving. Like, it didn't say it was shipped, and I was getting really nervous. A little voice in the back of my head was like, maybe you should just cancel and try again. But I'm like, no, I really don't, because it's already been paid for. Like, Amazon took my money. So I'm like, we're just gonna wait and we're just gonna hope that it ships. And there was no way I could like contact the seller because the seller was Amazon, so there's like nobody like to talk to, and the little chat thing was not helpful. It's like, it's being shipped soon. I'm like, yeah, but when? So finally today it has shipped, and it shipped from Nevada. So like, why did it take 2, almost 3 weeks for that to ship from Nevada? Like, seriously, why? So don't know why that took so long, but it's on its way here. It's gonna be here Tuesday, and I'm so excited. So I can't wait to get it. I can't wait to play with the settings. I already found some videos on best video settings, so we're gonna play with that. I cannot wait. Oh, it's gonna be great. So that is all for updates for the moment. So I'm gonna finish this readathon strong. We have 47 minutes of reading, so let's get into it. Alrighty, the 24-hour readathon is over and I made it to page 233 in Nemesis Games and I'm getting very tired. So that is gonna be it for this video. I had a great time doing this. I definitely think it would be better if I could do it in a shorter amount of time, like not do it over like 7 to 10 days. Like if I could do it over the 10-day staycation I have in December, I think that would be really nice because I could be more consistent with it and read for longer periods of time every single day instead of little snatches here and there. I think that'd make the readathon a little easier rather than having like stops and starts every single day, which is kind of annoying. So I think it was fun. I think it's a lot harder to do than I originally thought, but I had a great time. So thank you all so very much for watching this vlog, and I hope y'all enjoyed, and I will see you all in another video soon. Goodbye!